من بين أكثر السفراء نشاطا بلبنان وأكثر من أحب لبنان وشعبه سعادة السفير إيهور أوستاش سفير أوكرانيا بلبنان. اليوم بيسعدنا استضافته للتحدث عن آلام الحرب وبشاعتها، مش عن هالموضوع بل توديعا للسفير اللي عشق لبنان من كل قلبه وقدم له الكثير. ونستعرض آخر النشاطات من بينها ذكرى استقلال أوكرانيا وغيرها، ولنقول للسفير إيهور أوستاش شكرا. Excellency, today we will review with you, Your Excellency, your activities in Lebanon over the past year. Tell us about it, please.
صباح الخير.
صباح النور.
It's a great honor to be with you this morning, and yes, for me, Lebanon it's my second country, Watani, and for many years, almost 6 years, I spent in Lebanon. We worked on our strong connection,
yes,
especially cultural ties, political ties, economic ties. And we had a lot of very interesting cultural events. For example, I can mention 5 Ukrainian film festivals, many cultural events, Ukrainian festivals in different places like Duma. It was our one of the favorite places for Ukrainian festivals. We had a lot of publishing projects. For example, we printed totally 12 books in Arabic, translating from Ukrainian, but these books were connected with the history of Ukrainian Lebanese cultural ties. For example, starting from Santa Barbara, which was born in the Baalbek, but the holy remains of Santa Barbara now are in Kiev. Then it was Arkhangel Krimsky, Ukrainian famous world-class Orientalist who spent almost 2 years in Lebanon and wrote a lot of books. We translated 2 of them. It's Beirut Stories and Poetry, Palm Tree Beach. Of course, we translated also history of Ukraine into Arabic. We presented to Lebanese audience very important sign of Christian relations. In 1708, Ukrainian hetman ruler Ivan Mazepa supported Aleppo publishing house. It was Christian publishing house in Aleppo, and one of the first Injils in Arabic was printed in this publishing house, and we called it Mazepa Injil, yes, and we made facsimile. It's a very special book for us because it's about support of Ukrainian rulers of Antakya, of Middle East, and it shows us how it was important, this connection in 18th, 19th century. Of course, we worked a lot on the heritage of Michiel Naime.
yes.
Oh, wow.
He is very special personality for Ukrainians. He studied in Ukraine. From 1906 till 1911, he studied in Poltava Theological School.
Yes.
And his first poetry he wrote in Ukraine.
Oh.
And he translated into Arabic poetry of our spiritual father, Taras Shevchenko. And we also erected the monument of Taras Shevchenko in Babda, near the embassy.
He translated also some poem for a famous poetry in Ukraine, no?
Yes, he translated also Testament, and we put this translation on stela next to the monument, Taras Shevchenko monument in Ukrainian park, and it's really amazing connection because Michiel Naime wrote a lot of nice words about Ukraine, and he felt in love in Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
It was Barbara, Varka, Varya. It's very nice love story, very sad love story.
He lived in Kiev?
No, he spent 5 years in Poltava.
5 years.
It's central Ukraine, 300 kilometers from Kyiv. But in 1956, he visited also Kiev and had very nice connection with Ukrainian writers, poets, and it's really the story which connects us. And I visited Baskinta, my friend Najib Noaime, and I saw in Baskinta a lot of things from Poltava, from Kiev, books, for example, a lot of Shevchenko books, also letter from Varia, written in Arabic, very small but very touching, really? Very moving. Of course, we found some icons from Poltava, even samovar, some embroidery. It means that this Ukrainian heritage was also in the heart of Mikhail Naime.
Yes. Your Excellency, throughout your years here in Lebanon, you made tireless efforts to awaken the memory of the ties that you've been actually talking about between the Lebanese and the Ukrainian. Tell us more, what did you do throughout these years to strengthen these ties?
First of all, it's our economic ties.
Yes.
Because Ukraine, all this long time, stood next to Lebanon.
Mm-hmm.
We understand that Lebanon now is very serious economic crisis, and despite the war, despite the situation when major Ukrainian seaports in Odessa region were blocked, we found the alternative way to bring to Lebanon grains, wheat, and we just checked, for example, new updates about Lebanese import. It shows us that almost 65% now of all grains coming from Ukraine, and it's very important for us to support Lebanon for this moment. Of course, we worked on we held a lot of business forums, trying to connect Lebanese and Ukrainian business in Kiev and in Lebanon. Of course, we try to establish a new link between Lebanon and Ukraine in education sphere, because for this long time, almost 50 years, over 13,000 Lebanese students studied in Ukraine.
Wow.
It's a very huge,
number.
Army. And we still supporting this linkage, this tie.
How did you support them, our Lebanese
and
students, during the war?
During the war, it was really horrible times for Lebanese students, especially in eastern Ukraine, in Kharkiv, Zaporizhia, Mariupol. These students lived underground, were bombed, shelled, etc. It was very terrible time for them, but we tried to make all possible things, and together with Lebanese embassy in Kiev, our Ministry of Education, Foreign Affairs, we made special two corridors. Yes, we organized 2 corridors via Bucharest and Warsaw, and mostly they went back to Lebanon, and now they stay in European countries.
They went to Europe country.
Yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Now we are continuing this support, and all Ukrainian universities opened online education. Also, plus opened special campuses in different countries like Germany, Poland, Slovenia, Slovakia.
Not in Lebanon.
Not in Lebanon, but we are discussing this issue with Ministry of Education. There is a chance that the Ukrainian consortium of Ukrainian universities maybe will open also such campus in Lebanon, but it's the question of maybe next month or maybe half a year. I don't know, but we work on this issue also. And of course, Ukrainian state also tries to support Lebanese students students in such way like
Yes.
Ukrainian scholarships, and we provided 100 scholarships. Our Ministry of Education decided to provide
Full scholarship.
100 scholarships for Lebanese
wow.
students. We now work on this issue because it's a very long procedure, bureaucratic procedure, but I hope it will be there is a light in the end of tunnel.
Yes.
Yeah. During the Independence Ukrainian Day, in this event, you said farewell to Lebanon, goodbye.
Yes.
Are you moving and to Ukraine or other countries?
Yes, it's my last year. I will complete my
How many years
duty.
you spent in Lebanon?
Almost 6 years.
6 years.
Almost
yeah.
6 years. It is why I'm talking. That is my second country. Yes. Of course, this was a very important event for us. We celebrated 31st anniversary of Ukraine, independence of Ukraine, of restoring of independence for Ukraine, because the history of Ukraine is 1,000 years. It's very long, and you can see our blue and yellow flag. We made a lot of events because it's for us tradition in Independence Day to illuminate very famous
The
places
buildings.
in Lebanon, like
Yeah.
Sursok Museum, like Byblos Castle. We also now Byblos Castle, Jbel Castle, and then we made fantastic event in Baalbek when we opened 30 meters long Ukrainian
meters,
flag.
oh,
Yes, you
wow.
take a look. It's in Baalbek now. And Mortar Square also, we had very serious event on Mortar Square in the center of Beirut.
We will watch together a small video from this event.
Okay, let's go.
رح نشوف مع فادي فيديو صغير من يوم الاستقلال.
كما نعرف عن امتناننا للبنان الذي كان أول دولة عربية تنادد بالعدوان الروسي على أوكرانيا، وصوت مرتين لصالح قرارات أوكرانية في إطار الجمعية العامة للأمم المتحدة، ولمساعدته الإنسانية الكبيرة التي أرسلناها بثلاث طائرات إلى أوكرانيا.
Your Excellency, as you said, it's the last few months in office as the ambassador of Ukraine in Lebanon. Your journey was, your 6 years journey was full of ups and downs. If we wanna talk about the Lebanese circumstances and what happened in Lebanon, if you want to describe the journey in like 2 sentences, your journey in Lebanon as an ambassador, how would you describe it?
It was very moving, very touching time for me. I felt in love with Lebanon, first of all.
And we love you also.
And of course, Lebanon is, for me now, is very special country with fantastic heritage, civilizations, cultures, etc. And I can just tell you that I'll be back from Kiev to Lebanon because we still have a lot of projects to realize, to introduce in Lebanon and in Kiev. It means that we work on it because for now, as I mentioned, it's my second country.
Yes.
What's your advice for the Lebanese people before leaving Lebanon?
Yes, we spent a lot of ups and downs in Lebanon. I remember very horrible blast in Beirut port. Maybe it was the most horrible moment in my stay in Lebanon. We tried to support, by the way, Lebanon after blast. I personally came from Kiev with a huge plane of our National Guard with humanitarian aid for Lebanese. We try to support Ukrainian and Lebanese families after seaport blast also. and it means that it's maybe one of the most tragic moments in Lebanon. But
Yes.
of course, I just like to tell to all Lebanese, Lebanon is a fantastic country. Lebanon is a country of beauty, country of history, country of culture, very open country and very hospitable country. I felt in Lebanon like at home, and in this, from this side, I can say that we are very similar, Ukrainians and Lebanese. And I can tell you that
Are we similar?
yes, we are
These two
similar. Yes,
peoples?
absolutely, yes. And you should keep this heritage, preserve this Lebanese fantastic nature. But the main problem, of course, it's problem of political system and Lebanese economy. And I hope that new government and maybe new president will try to change the situation
Yes.
and to come back to so-called golden years of Lebanese history.
Yes, Your Excellency, before we say goodbye, I want to ask you, what will you miss the most in Lebanon? This is the first phase of the question. And the second one, I want you to tell Mariam TV's viewers like a small greeting or a small goodbye message in Arabic.
Okay, first of all, I can tell you that I will miss this unique Lebanese monuments like Balbak, like Jbel, like Sur, Tir, Tripoli, these fantastic castles. Of course, I will miss a fantastic Lebanese food. It's also national heritage. I will miss fati, kebbe, knefe, etc. And of course, it means that I definitely will be back to meet my friends again in Lebanon, and maybe also I hope that the economic situation will be better, and
You will keep in touch with
we'll,
us. with
we'll
Mariam.
bring a lot of Ukrainian tourists to see these fantastic beauties
Bravo.
of
We need
Lebanon.
it.
Yes.
Yes, and during this event of celebration of 31st anniversary, we had a lot of different events in Kyiv. For example, it was Crimean platform. We would like to take back Crimea to Ukraine, and over 60 countries and political leaders participate in this Crimean platform. It was second forum, 40 prime ministers and presidents. It was
Wow.
really important for us. And of course, we had a lot of events with national flag, and during of this event in Baabda, I mentioned that
Yes.
I am really thankful to Lebanese government. I'm thankful to Lebanese people which supported Ukraine, especially with humanitarian aid in times of Russian aggression. And finally, I expressed my very deep appreciation with words of Fairuz.
Mhm.
I need to hear.
You need
Yeah. حبك يا لبنان.
Yes, we want to
Yes.
end our
In
episode
Arabic.
with something in Arabic to our audience, to Mariam's TV's audience.
Okay, I'll try maybe
Yeah.
to make it for your audience. بحبك يا لبنان يا وطني بحبك بشمالك بجنوبك بسهلك بحبك تسأل شو بيني شو لي ما بيني بحبك يا لبنان يا وطني.
Bravo.
Amazing.
We hope peace for all Ukrainian people, and we hope we'll see you again in Lebanon. Visit us and visit Mariam TV, and we will visit you in Ukraine, in Kiev.
Thank
soon.
you very much. And
Thank you for your
hope
presence.
see you
Thank
soon.
you for
We wish you the
everything,
best in your
Excellency.
future
Thank you.
steps. Thank you so much, Your Excellency.
نحن بريك ونرجع منواصل فقراتنا.